So we understand that. We understand that we're overextended to the upside. Okay. This, I don't know if we come back for this, but this, I was thinking, yeah, probably come back for this. So that's the idea. Coming up to the range highs. So we should be treating it like a range because it's been trading like a range forever, right? Our lows, our highs, right? So should be trading it like a range. Very obvious. Then we come into our sell wall that we have marked out. Now we're ready to trade. Right here. Now, what tricked me, okay, this is what caught me. Okay, so I got long here, right here, and I got stopped out right here. Okay. Now, what tricked me was that I was looking for a continuation because we didn't take the high. Okay. So we didn't take the high here. If we had taken the high, I would have shorted. I'm convinced. Okay. However, if we're looking at yesterday, we didn't take this high, but we had a nice order block in here. So that was okay. Right. So we didn't, because we didn't take this high, and because we didn't take this high, I was looking for this trade. Okay, so that was what I was looking for, and it fit into my criteria too, right? So you stop loss below the lows in here, right? It's actually quite a cheap trade, and you're looking to target back up into these highs in here. Okay, so the target very simply was to come back into these highs, stop loss below the low in here, breakout continuation trade. However, we got 3 drives, bearish divergence. Same trade as yesterday. Should be looking for the short. Came into our sell wall. Okay, could have taken the short here. Even if I, even if I'd taken a short half a position size to get the the party started. A little bit of a cerveza. A little bit of, that's an this would be an okay loss to me, right? But this one hurts, man, because of yesterday, because of honestly, one, if I go back in history and I look at my journal and all of my trading history, 1, 2, big one yesterday, pissed off. There was this one and this one and this one. I missed all of these ones. And I was looking to take them on the live. That's the problem. Like I was looking to take this one. This was a perfect golden pocket. This one was a 3 drives. This one was a 3 drives. This one was a 3 drives. And this one was a sweep of the high. So that's why we always want to look at our trading so we can learn from our trading, right? Because this is a long process and we always want to get better. However, after I had taken that loss, I readjusted, scalp long, scalp long, scalp long, scalp long. Crushed. Like you guys seen the P&L, right? So I'm not going to let my $300 loss ruin my trading day. However, that's $900 I left on the table, right? So if this, then that, right? Now we're making higher lows, rejection off golden pocket. Can we see continuation coming up for those targets up here, right? Can we keep pushing, right? That's the question. Now we have bullish momentum to the upside. We haven't really come down for these lows in here. I would have liked to see 95. We didn't. V-shaped recovery on its way, trying to push up here. We got VWAP holding us up right now. I could talk a little VWAP strategy with you guys. So it's probably best. So whenever you're away from VWAP, it can act as one or two things. VWAP is volume weighted average price. It gives you an average price at the start of your day. Okay, you can use like a tool called anchored VWAP, and you can pull it from your weekly, and it'll give you VWAP like that. Okay, that's a free tool. They have it over here. But VWAP is on your Dynamics Pro. Okay, you can just go over here and turn it on. Right here, show VWAP. Okay. And for me, I use it every day as intraday trader. It's a guide, and what allows me to do is identify one trend or if price is magnetic, okay? So in this instance, we can see when we started the day that VWAP was acting magnetic, meaning every time we got further away, we returned to VWAP. Further away, we returned to VWAP. Further away, we returned to VWAP. Okay? Not perfect, but that's how it was behaving. Another way it can behave is it can act as support or resistance. So if you have a VWAP, this one's not showing the full day. Let me just go over here and show you for the day on a previous day. So it resets every day. You can see it resets right here. You can see it resets right here. The chart prime one just starts you for the regular day, right? It resets every day. So it's volume weighted average price of the day. And you can see magnetic in here, right? And sometimes it's trending, okay? You can see here trending all the way down, downtrend. So anytime you come up to VWAP, it's probably a good opportunity to short, right? And it works the same way in an uptrend. It can act as support, so it bounces on the VWAP. Same kind of deal, okay? And so how I make a lot of my money, right? A lot of my money. Look at this perfect VWAP retest, right? Right there, right? So look, scalp one, long off VWAP, bounce up here, done. Okay? Comes down below into a key level here, double bottom, scalp up to VWAP. Retest VWAP, breakout retest, scalp up to here. Order block in here, okay? Could have taken this one. There's another one, right? Now it's short-term time frame stuff. Like it's really fast. You got to be on it, okay? So it can act as support. It can act as one of the best ways I like to trade it is basically this move here. This would be like one of my bread and butters where you push through with a big bullish engulfing. That's strength, okay? So you want to see strength through the VWAP. Then you want to see strength holding the VWAP. You see this candle here? This tells you buy like a mofo, okay? This one says buy like a motherfucker, right? This doesn't tell you buy. This says wait. Okay, you need to understand the difference. Let's go to 1 minute time frame. Okay. Okay, you got double bottom bullish divergence in here. That's why I went long here. Trying to take it up to VWAP. Got a little bit more money out of it. We pushed through VWAP. Rejection up at the highs here, which is normal. Okay, you see that order block right here. That's the target for this move in here. Okay. But you can see you push down, but you see reclaim. That's strength right there. As soon as you see the strength in the candle close above here, you can get long and take that up. That's that $500 trade I took, right? Then you see here trickle down, right? Slow, methodical. Still a higher low. Continuation. Okay? There's many ways to trade this. Snap off the VWAP. This is called a slap. Okay, this is a slap down and a bounce. So you're just waiting here. Okay. You can look for. See, this is where people get confused too. Because this is short-term time frame, people are like, okay, you retest a VWAP, you should continue downwards, right? This is where people get confused. Because I'm on a 1 minute time frame, I have to go with trend on the 15-minute time frame. The trend is up. What did I say before this? We put in a higher low here, correct? Okay, this is the difference between someone who's trying to trade this shit in here and trying to understand how to trade on a short-term time frame. My bias needs to be I'm in an uptrend. I need to trade this as if I'm in an uptrend. My bias can't be I'm in a downtrend because of this little fart here. That's not a downtrend. That is a retracement. Okay? This is an uptrend. Okay, so my bias needs to be correct when I'm using, and we always want to trade with trend, right? That's why I took 4 longs in here. Okay? Yes, we got pushed down, and we could have looked for continuation down, but my bias is still up. Okay? Trading with trend is always important. So that's why this wasn't a short. That's why this is a long off of a support level. That's why this is a long, and that's why this is a long, and that's why this is a long. And that's why I shouldn't have longed here. because I was looking for this all morning. Okay. Lesson learned. Sweep of the highs, very easy trade. Short down into my key level, long up. But it's not that easy. And that's why trading is not easy. But that's kind of how I would explain it to someone if you want to learn. That's how I used it. How about that little VWAP super session there? Okay. What
Man, I
now,
like it.
OC? What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm looking at a couple of things in here.
Are you
Ah,
long?
no, not yet. Well, yeah, I'm long on Link, and I have also taken some profits on gold. Looking to enter a possible meta trade. Maybe an early meta trade. Still don't know. Looking for it right now. Let me share what I see. Man, it's been a very scammy week action at this point, but pretty good. Also, by the way, guys, I see. You somebody said that you don't have permission to talk. That's because we are on a stage. So you need to request access to jump into this stage. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them down, and also like send them here. We'll be more than happy to answer them. Also, shout out to TradeFly and Trade Intuition in the chat. What's up, guys? Welcome. Great to have you here, guys. Alex, I don't know, man. I love to see your show while you're trading live. I understand, like what's going on, but I think that the value that you provide, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, by the way. The value that you provide while
So you're
doing
saying I
so,
can't quit?
I'm saying you can do whatever is best for you, my friend. I'm just saying that the value that you put out on live trading, it is, man. It's just I don't see anything else in YouTube at all, at all. Um, yeah. Let me share what I got with you, and then train tuition. You were saying, sorry.
Yeah, so I just want to add to that too. Like, it's really easy to see stuff after the fact. For example, the VWAP, the moving averages, the order blocks. Price comes down. This one you want to buy, so on and so forth. But when you're actually in the trade, like Alex O shows, like it's all the thought process in that moment. So for me, that is like the most important thing any trader can do to show one, you actually know what you're talking about, and two, the thought process that goes into the trades when you're in the trade as opposed to after the fact. Because anybody can say, oh, well, this is where you should enter because it's bouncing off of this and bouncing off of this. But when you're actually in the trade, everything's changing. So, kudos to you, Alexo. You're doing a great job, man. I love watching you. And that's all
Thanks,
I got.
bro. It's true. Like in the chat, I'll have like 50 different opinions. It's like, oh, we're rejecting off the 50 EMA. Short now, long now. Then I asked everybody, I'm like, are you in a long or a short? One or two? And it's 1, 2, 1, 2. So like everybody's in a different trade. So like who the fuck am I supposed to listen to beside myself? Like, so it's interesting, right? And some people, got short off of that this morning. Some people didn't, and some people were waiting, and it's interesting to see. But it's like, yeah, it's also too like it shows that I'm, even though I took the loss this morning, it says, hey man, it stopped out like easy, right? And I share the losses, I share the wins, right? I celebrate the wins, I celebrate the losses, right? Because if I didn't take my $300 loss, I wouldn't have a $900 day today, right? I would have had probably $1,000, $2,000 loss on that drops because it dropped again, right? So I try to show what the importance of risk management too, right? I think if you have a good R multiple and you know what your intentions are, that's why I always like whenever, like just sharing my screen again, like whenever I show my positions, I'm showing, okay, well, invalidation points below this low here, looking for this to come up to here. Bang, I got stopped out here, right? So I mean, and I always try to say like this is such like getting long here. My stop is here, right? Like it's a cheap trade. the R multiple on this is beautiful, right? So it's like it's that too. It's like showing people how to manage the risk in order to make that, right? Like if you're not making a two, I always say aim for a 3-to-1, and if you're taking profits early, it's going to be a 2-to-1, and that's fine, right? Aim for a 3-to-1, and maybe you take profits halfway or whatever. We're only human, right? We're not gonna, you know, this trade it was straight up. Like I went here to here. That was that $500 trade, right? For me, I wanted to target the highs. I'm like, oh, $1,000 trade would be nice today, right? But it's like that's greed, right? That's greed. So I gotta watch that too, right? Where it's like, oh, I'd like to show everybody my $1,000 trade today, but it's that's keeping your ego aside and trying to be humble and relatable too. I think that's the hardest thing. It's like you're putting money on the line every time you're entering a trade and managing risks. I mean, if you're not doing that, you're really putting everybody at a disadvantage too. Like as someone who's trying to teach or someone who's trying to help people become good traders, you need to be able to lose with dignity, right? And then get back on the horse and try again and implement your strategy. I think it's a hard task, but I think that's key.
Yeah, just one real quick. Another thing to add. It's really difficult to do a live stream and also trade because I mean you're trying to keep up with the chat, you're trying to go with the charts. Sometimes they'll ask for a chart, you'll do the chart, but you still have your trader on the screen, and the whole thing is like you have to monitor what the price is doing in the moment. So if it starts turning, you can react fast. And so when you're preoccupied with other things or just trying to keep the audience engaged, you're taking your mind truly off of because I mean it's completely different when you're just zoned into the chart versus when you're doing a live stream. So yeah, man, I completely when you said that I was like, yep, 100%.
Yeah, it's multitasking. Even if you're still looking at the chart, you're still somewhat aware of the chat and all that. Like I'll shut off the chat, but it's still like, yeah, no, it's so true. Tradefly is here too, man. What's going on, brother?
What's up, dude? How you guys doing today?
Damn, you handsome, man. I'm so honored to be called your twinsy. I'm like the gray-haired twinsy, though, bro. I gotta get a haircut.
Man, you're still younger than me, so you got time, man. You'll George Clooney it, I promise you.
I'm a George Clooney the shit out of it,
There
man.
it is. Hey, man. So as I'm listening to this discussion, one of the things that I kind of started thinking about, right? We talk on our show like about exit strategies a lot. And I will say a lot of people spend time on the trade setup itself, right? When am I going to enter? All right. And then they'll have a price area or a target area that they have identified, right? Like your thought process initially led you to a 3-to-1, right? That's what you wanted when you initially started the trade. And then what I noticed with a lot of people, and I know you're really good at explaining it, but I think it would be beneficial to the people that are listening right now to tell them when that thought process changes, right? When do you say, hey, I've gone from a 3-to-1 that, you know what, I think a 2-to-1 might be the better play here, and like kind of walk people through that. I think that is a really important part of exiting these trades and them understanding it. I think that it's a shortfall kind of in the community itself that we're very you know we're like, all right, here's our entry, here's our exit, and then next thing you know, we exit like earlier than what we were originally planning for. So I think that mindset and that process is important for people to understand.
Yeah, no, you're right. So this was a trade, right? And you're right. So it's like, what? So this, I got out here, right here. Okay. What led me to believe? Okay, because this was a $700 trade here. But knowing price action, what is here? Because you're in the middle of the range here. What is here? For me, I know visually that that's a golden pocket, 786. I know that from high to low. If I pull that, I'm in that retracement zone. So visually, I know that we have come up. We've tapped this order block, which was my original target from when I was taking a long from down here. Okay. And it would have been nice to take this up, right? But my intention with this long into here, right off the get go, my intention is to VWAP from here to VWAP. That is my intention. I'm with that. My stop loss is literally below the low here, right? So my intention is not to take this thing up to here. My intention is to take this thing up to here. Stop loss right below here. If it rolls over, whatever, $100 loss. Very easy. $300 win. Very nice, right? 3-1. So intention when you get into the trade, and then understanding where you're invalidated or where it can reverse on you is so important. So understanding that this is a retracement area, that if price is going to continue downwards, this is swing high to swing low to retracement down, right? So this is an area where price can roll over, which it did. And yes, it found support on the VWAP again, and it has pushed back up. But I understand that when I got into this trade, my target was this order block. It tapped that order block, and I held just to see if we get a bounce in continuation, right? Because I wanted to give it a chance. But once I see it stalling out here, there's no way I'm staying in that trade. I'm cutting it. I'm taking my money and running, right? I think that's important too, is to understand where the trade is going and what's in front of you, what barriers. That's why we always talk about marking out key levels, support and resistance, targets, right? They're all targets in here. Look at the support level I have, the support level I have, right? All targets and what's kind of in the way, right? Order blocks work really good for that. Look at all this shit in the way right now, right? These are all targets, but they're all in the way, right? Then I have some support down below, but liquidity at the lows in here now. That's more favorable. Do we get a double top, right? If this starts to reverse and it closes below this low, it's probably going to come lower, right? I have momentum to the upside. Another way to hold trades longer, and I teach this here too, is you take your first significant low. So even this is short-term time frame, it's all fractal. Don't forget that. Whether it's the 15-minute, whether it's the hourly, whether it's the 4-hour, it's all the same shit. It's just time, right? So I'll take my first significant low. I'll go from low to my first significant low. And if it breaks this momentum, I'm out, right? That's another rule that I employ sometimes, right? With my trading. As soon as this is broken, I'm out of the trade. Okay? If maybe you're on a 15-minute, maybe this is your significant low. And as soon as this is broken, I'm out of that trade. Okay? And that's an easy way to kind of map out, momentum to the upside, right? It works very well. Like even if you got short off this morning, your first significant low would be here, right? You're out here, which is pretty sweet, right? Pretty sweet to hold that trade down. Like you're not closing it on this first retracement. You're waiting for that first next lower high to draw that momentum line in order to justify where you're going to get out. Now, if you're on any sort of time frame here, you can see I draw them all the time. I'm not trading based off of trend lines. I'm trading based off momentum and kind of understanding, hey, if I got long at the bottoms here, I can take this and I can put this all the way up here and I'm holding this to here. Or maybe I'm waiting for a 4-hour higher low. So that would be this one. And I'd take this into here and I'd be out over here. So waiting through all this is easy, right? It's that psychological aspect of, hey man, what are we doing up here? Are we going to roll over and I'm going to lose all my money? Right? Because I know everybody sitting here, this is from 2 a.m. all the way till 4 a.m. This is 2 hours of price action and you're sideways, right? But if I have this trend line here, I'm like, I don't have to close this unless we break it, right? And guess what? You shoot up again. I don't have to close this until we break it. Oh, we've broken it. I'm out, which allows you to make this much more money on your trade without worrying, without thinking, oh my God, are we going to go here, right? And it's the same here, right? If you took the short yesterday, you don't have to close that all the way down. You don't have to close that until here. Pretty sweet trade, right? Just a very simple way of holding trades longer, which is something I have to be aware of because I close trades quickly, right? That's why I let this breathe a little bit to look for continuation. Didn't get the continuation, closed it out, took my money, ran, right? So market structure is going to tell you a lot. But also your initial plan needs to be able to be flexible based on rules, based on changes to structure, invalidation points, what's in front of you, and all that stuff. So you're going to have to get better, like for everybody. You just have to get better at reading the market and paying yourself. At the end of the day, you want to pay yourself, right? So getting away with break-even trades is better than taking losses. So you may want to stop loss to entry, but you're going to want to be careful with that too. Because if I got long here and I put stop loss to entry, well, I'm getting knocked out here, right? So if I'm not paying myself here, this is, I'm leaving a lot on the table. So taking partial profits is another way to do it as well. And not taking all the profits, not taking 75% here, right? Maybe taking 25% on the way up into the order block, and then letting the rest bake for the rest of it, right? So it's a battle, right? But there's a lot to learn and a lot to apply to your trading strategy in order to maximize your profits, but also not round trip your money either. Hopefully that helps a bit.
Yeah, man. Nah, I think it's important to articulate that piece of it.
The Discord.
No, and I
Say
think,
hi.
guys, yeah, today is a public class.
hi.
And I think you guys.
Hello.
Hey.
You say hello.
The baby otter.
The baby otter.
I love it.
Drive safely, okay? Love you. Oh, where's the wallet? It's on my side table.
Yeah, where is that wallet?
Side table.
Give it up, Alex. Give it up.
No kiss goodbye. Just where's the wallet?
Love it.
Take the baby. Meanwhile, I'll search for the wallet.
Whatever. She
I'm
lets me
learning.
golf
We're learning
at least
so
once a
much out of
week.
this.
Happy wife, man. Happy wife.
Go. And no, I just want to add to what Triflight mentioned, and of course what Alex masterclass has been today. Yay! Congrats! Yay! Alex for the win.
I love you too.
Oh man, such a happy family. Love it. I'm working on mine. Also Triflight.
Yeah,
Yours
keep
looks
practicing.
amazing.
Two pumps, man. 2 pumps.
By the way, if you want to see a truly happy family having an amazing time, go watch Fly's Halloween special. Dude, you blow my mind with that special. Loved it, man. Loved it. Every single time I think of that episode, it fills my heart too truly.
That was fun, man.
It was fun.
Yeah, that was a really cool episode, man. At some point maybe I'll just switch my whole persona to being Cal Norton Jr. and I'll do every episode that way. I think I'll get more views.
Oh man, you might. Oh, I just wanted to add on
Cal Norton crypto, baby. Let's do it.
Let's
Yeah,
do
baby.
it. I want to add on, guys, that despite this could be kind of like a long talk, this is one of the biggest and greatest master class that we have on the channel. Because, yeah, I mean, it's all good when somebody just start throwing at you trade setups, right? You can long here, you can short here, you can do this, you can do that. But when you start executing without knowledge, and then you start realizing that lack of knowledge gets you killed on this game, that's when you start, hey, but then how do I trade this, right? And then you start seeing, for example, whoever gave the trade, right? Or a trade setup, hey, we made this, we made that, we made that much, we made that much, right? And you were stuck on the trade, right? Maybe because you keep on putting a stop loss, or maybe you got a stopped out at entry. Why? Because you weren't brave enough to take your profits at a time, right? Or what happens, maybe the trade went around it, and then you just keep thinking that the trade was somehow reversing once again, right? And then did not look at the signals. So this is part of learning, right? And I don't think that you're going to be finding much of this kind of information in any other places. And that's what I love also to invite Trade Intuition and TradeFly into the stage. And also sometimes we have Lunar Beaches Crypto that jumps in here, because collectively we've been in this industry for a little bit, right? And we've built our accounts up from the ground up, and we've all have different success stories, but I think that we all share the same mistakes, right? Or at least most of the same mistakes. So when you ask somebody, hey, how do you become, or how do you got to the point that you are at this point? Everybody's going to tell you a different story. Why? Because you need to exploit your where you're good at, right? And then apply it to trading if you want to. But when talking about making mistakes, 90% of us make the same mistakes. And looking at how we created or we fall into that mistake, but most importantly, how we solve that mistake, and then for you to learn and how to apply it to your style, that is, I would say, invaluable. Because I mean, I always talked about let's quit thinking like the 90% of the traders out there that are losing money, right? What most of the traders do, right? Just look at a newbie member. How do I earn more, right? How do I get those huge wins, right? How do I multiply my money? But have you stopped yourself and think, well, are you stopped losing already? Because that's point number one, right? So think outside the box and maybe start programming to or thinking like, how do I stop losing money? So naturally, winning comes into the game, right? And that it's will change your perspective of trading on using a stop loss, moving stop to entry, breaking even. It's also a win, right? How to trail your entries, early taking profits too, trail up. Hey, Crypto Pollo, let me invite you also. By the way, the one and only Crypto Pollo, and so on and so forth, right? So here's where you're gonna be learning this kind of stuff. I'm also giving you the trade setup. But I think this is the part of trading that nobody teaches out there. Why? Because it tends to be kind of boring, to be honest. Because nobody wants to talk about how they fix an issue, but everybody is used to, like that immediate dopamine that, yeah, let's jump in and make a Ferrari worth of money in 3 hours, right? So that's kind of like the darkest part of trading, where you do need to learn this art, I would say, because there's a million ways to do this. Other than that, let me throw it back to you guys.
It's true. He's right. It's always like the indicators are a bonus, right? I mean, I think they're tools. So like for me, like I'm a carpenter by trade, and they with carpenters we always talk about hand skills and tools, right?
And architects,
So you can
don't
have
forget about that.
amazing hand skills, okay? Which I have pretty good hands for working, right? So you can have a mate, but if I got a Mexican tape measure, right, that only reads in Spanish, right, I'm not going to be able to measure properly, right? So the tools are going to give us a bit of an edge, okay? The tools are going to allow us to make money, right? So your tools will make you money. You got to still know the craft, right? This is the craft, the price action, the support, the resistance, the breakup structure, the market structure. All of this is the hand tools. Then we add layers of confluence. Like you can have this on your chart. What the are you gonna do with this shit, right? But if I know that, oh, okay, I need to shorten the door, I'm gonna rip it through a table saw. So here's my table saw, right? So I got, you know, oh look, order block down here, view up down here, buy zone. Let's see if we bounce off of here. If we bounce off of here, I can look for a potential long. Where am I gonna target? Okay, long here. Where's my invalidation? I'll go with the low in here. Okay, if we lose this low, then I'm wrong. I'm gonna target back up to the order block. Okay, very valid trade setup. What allows you to get into here is your hand skills. So we understand where we're looking for the trade. But if the price comes in here and it doesn't bounce or doesn't give you any sort of reaction, why are you going to take the trade, right? It's that understanding of, hey, you can't trade this blindly, right? Sometimes you can. I mean, don't get me wrong. That dynamic reactor is fucking fire. Okay, it's stupid. Okay, I'll never ever doubt the dynamic reactor. When I was one of my easiest trades in my life. I mean, I was blown away by how easy it was to get into this long right here. I believe it was the daily dynamic reactor. I don't know. Oh yeah. Oh baby. Okay. I remember this because I made a lot of money on this. Okay, 25% move off the dynamic reactor. Okay, but If you traded it here, you're wrong. If you traded it here, you're wrong, unless you shorted it. Okay. But okay, so our tools are going to help us make decisions, right? Big support, getting fat, looking good, right? Okay, maybe I want to get it closer. Let's go 12 hour. Are we above or below it, right? Am I looking for longs? Am I looking for shorts, right? Well, it looks like we're getting rejected from it. So I might want to wait for this to push up and continue before I get too happy-go-lucky, trigger finger. Alex says we're going to the moon. Okay. Now, when we zoom out here, and that's so important. Yes, I trade on a short-term time frame, but if we zoom out here, we need to understand a couple of things. 100K is our target to get above. 94K is our support. We could even drag this down to about 92. We're stuck in a range. Since Donald Trump, we are in a downtrend. Okay? The sweep here is a bit of hopium after yesterday. There was enough pain. The emotions on Twitter yesterday were absolutely hilarious, man. You see everybody's like, we're doomed to, we're going to 125,000, okay? It's crazy. Now, the thing is this a falling wedge? You can call it whatever you want. What I see is a short squeeze. Once the short squeeze, like a domino effect, okay? You have so much liquidity here now, and TradeFly can talk to you about liquidity. But one thing I love about liquidity is once one stop loss is triggered, price jumps. Once another one, price jumps, price jumps. It's like pop, 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 pop. It's like firecrackers. Okay, especially when you've been consolidating for this long. Okay. Have we swept this low? Have we swept this low? No. But the buyers are coming in clearly. Every time we get down here, this is just being eaten up, right? So for me, if we start to get above this high here at 98,000, and once we start going, this will happen so friggin' fast you won't even know what to do with it. Because I know we know there's people short up here, man. Everybody's saying this is the top. I don't think it's the top. That's just me. But we also know that OC is calling for 85,000. So let's be careful here because we know OC is actually really good. So and that's it. We trade it like a range until we have confirmation of a direction, right? So buy low, sell high, right? And that's it. So need to be level-headed here. But at the end of the day, right, our tools are helping us. Look at the support line coming in here, right? They're all helping us. We have a big dynamic reactor here. So long term, I mean, this is consolidation, right? Obviously, we've had the massive push up since Trump, and now we've had Trump get in and we've had Trump dump, okay? So, but at the end of the day, we are still finding support here, and there's no real invalidation to suggest we're breaking down yet. So we treat it as a range and we treat it as a macro uptrend until we've been shown by the market it's different. Because I think if you can get on side with trend, just like I was explaining on the 5-minute time frame here, how the trend is up here, but this is down, but I'm still looking for longs in here because the trend is up. If you can get on board with trend, you can add at least 5% to your winning strategy. That's my opinion. Is if you're trading with trend, the trend is your friend until the end. Yes, we've heard it all before, but if you can get on the trend, on the train, and you just sit on the train, I mean, if you got on the trend here, if you got on the trend here, if you got on the trend here, high or low, right? Continuation, you're in the money, right? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. For me right now, this is, I don't touch this with OCs and trade fly pushing. Okay, this is a symmetrical triangle. I absolutely hate this shit. So fuck that. I'm not trading it.
Oh man,
That's me.
I mentioned that also yesterday. I was saying, you know what, I'm most probably not gonna be trading this week. Oh, dude, that is such a scammy movement here. But let's take a look at a couple of things. Let's go jumping with what we got here with a couple of trade setups that I got prepared for you guys. Remember, be extremely careful. In fact, also remember what I said yesterday. Fuck Ethereum, right? And be careful in the markets. So, so let's take a look. What?
Fuck Ethereum.
Fuck Ethereum, man. Meta, guys. Let's take a look at Meta. On Meta, I was expecting, I was seeing exhaustion in marketing here. Remember, I was expecting for something to start breaking up of a this trend that we had going on here. Although I was expecting this to play out on multiple candles for a rebounding here to this area, it seems like we're breaking harder and faster. Something that is important to know, there we go, is that we have a support where we're breaking or where we're having some sort of rejection here, and we had not anymore an order block. We had an order block today in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. Seems like we might still have a little more downside in here, and that's what I told you guys. I might be willing to wait a little bit more. We're about to possible jump into a trade in Meta. Remember that I'm looking for the flip of the ribbon, something like that in here. Remember that we've been expecting that for a long time, and now we're getting closer to see that reaction. Remember that we can still come all the way down here to this area, to the dynamic reactor support, and then have that flip of the ribbon. So my suggestion will be wait for confirmations. Another one, virtuals. I'm already into a trade with virtuals, half of a position. Our best trade scenario, it's all the way down here at 69.51, and that is because that's where we have confluence between area of a big reaction here, smart money area at the edge of that big support, and also we have let me show you, where is it, another area of support along with this trend line that we have drawn right there. So as you can see, as Alex was mentioning in his what he had the microphone, sorry, was a combination and usage of the tools, right? So that is called confluence. Basically, you can see that I draw all of the confluence that I had right here. This is the best area for entry, but that doesn't guarantee that we're going to get here. So what I'm looking for is that V-shaped recovery. Look at that. We already had it. We're turning green, so that's why I'm trying to take the risk. Could I be wrong? Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm using a stop loss, right? Why? Because we could be seeing something like this. Look at what happened here, right? Maybe we have this coming back down and then up and back again. And we have, yes, a V-shaped recovery, but then we come visit another low. In this case scenario, let me see if I can find a better, where is it? A better example of it. I would say maybe, yeah, maybe this one here, that we think that we're bottoming in, and then we have other and multiple other lows, right, where we keep going downwards. So that's something that could happen, and that's exactly why I have my stop loss set there. And then my next entry, of course, at my confluence zone. What else do I have here? Near, we were talking about this yesterday, Alex and I, on the class. I was trying to refer to an atom and an eve. In this case, it's an eve and an atom. Not yet playing out. In fact, this is a speculation. Why? Because the atom is not there yet, right? So we still need to see that V-shaped recovery. And you notice that I have an alert right there at 329. That alert basically indicates to me that we are getting there. The price action is already getting there, right? And the V-shaped recovery, it's almost undeniable. All right, so there's almost no turning around or turning back. So as we are hitting 329, I'm gonna be waiting or trying to catch the trade all the way to the dynamic reactor for TP number 1. And if dynamic reactor has come in fast down, well, then I'm gonna be trying to jump into the retest right here for an explosive continuation. INA is a special one. I don't know why it always takes me to the 1 minute, but INA is a special one because we're not there yet. And seems like we could be having a goose head, right? So if you're not familiar with a goose head, this is a goose head. It's not on the place where I like it to be. Usually I like to see goose heads up in the topping here, and that usually means that we're gonna have a movement to the upside. Let me show it to you. Movement to the upside, further move to the upside before a reversal. So what does it mean? That maybe I can have a movement to the upside before a reversal. So that's what I'm trying to catch in here, this goose head that might be able to play it out. Again, guys, I'm not giving you instructions on how to trade this. I'm just giving you the setups. We're not going to be talking about how to trade it exactly, but what you do need to remember remember enter a crazy support with flip of the ribbon, set your stop loss, move your entry as stop as soon as possible, trail or take early profits and trail your profits to the upside. All right, so that's what I will be saying today. And finally, link we're already into a trade, but it seems like we are bouncing down, so be careful. I estimate that probably TP number one is going to be around 1892, and you should already be setting your stop to enter. Remember yesterday that I gave this signal. I told you guys, danger, danger, danger. Will Robinson, we are on the danger zone. So basically, and this was for this area of course, right? For this line of entry, that means that despite we could be having an entry, we could be rolling back down because we will be bouncing from this range. So basically what we're seeing there, or a possibility of what we're seeing, it is this. Let me show it to you. We have this V-shaped recovery here. Then we have the range coming down, stabilizing, then breakout, maybe retest. We are here, and then we could be going downwards. So again, be careful right here. And also remember that this one did not play it out as expected, but we were able to enter also at the bottom right there. And finally, BNB. BNB almost there with an entry. Remember that I said if you really want to trade, oh, I don't know why it changed. If you really want to trade BNB, wait for the retracement on support. What happened? We did not have the retracement on support until right there, because we had the flip of the ribbon. Remember, I was telling you, look for that retracement and wait for flip of the ribbon right here, right? It did not happen here. It happened a little bit below. So that was our possible entry. As you can see, this would have been our risky entry. Nonetheless, I already have my flip of the ribbon. I'm breaking through and I'm waiting for a possible entry. Still, I have not yet entered with BNB. I want to see the oscillator break back above, like here. I want to see it breaking back above. I want to see it breaking back above. Why? Because our entry was already down there. What else? Do I have basically anything else? Just taking a look at Bitcoin, just like Alex mentioned, I am expecting a V-shaped sweep of the lows, somewhere around 87-ish. So be careful with that. Other than that, I think we have reached the end of the class. Third Flight, thank you so
Hey.
much for visiting, man. I want to turn
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
over
say I
to
got
you.
a couple
Yeah.
zones to look for. If
Absolutely,
said
let's take a
fuck.
look at them.
all right, cool.
Stop
You
swearing,
know,
trade fly.
yeah, your jar's adding up, brother. All right,
I'm
me see
allowed 2
here.
a day. I've stuck to that. I've done well this week.
All
I've
right, let
only
me.
gotten one over.
No, get out of here, man. I watch your live streams. Don't
Fuck.
don't BS me. I heard you. I don't know if it was today. You were like, oh,
Today I
that
swore
doesn't count.
twice.
That doesn't count. I'm like, yeah, that counts, man.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna add another $5 and I'll let them know tomorrow.
All
Okay.
right, yeah. All right, cool. Hopefully you're donating that to a good cause. All right,
Yeah.
so you can see my chart, all right, right?
Yeah, I see it all right. It's kind of,
Okay.
I don't know about those candle colors, but no.
Yeah. All right, we'll ignore those. Anyways, so I'd say three real big zones that I'm looking at right now. The way I see the trend in the interim is obviously bearish. All right. So how do you validate that? Obviously, a dynamic reactor is a good validation point for you. So it's very hard for me right now to take a long position understanding which way the trend is going. So Alex talked about that a little bit earlier. Trading against a trend, it's a dangerous thing, right? So if you're scalping, you're doing intraday, that's a whole different ball game. That's Alex's thing. I like more swing trades, right? So I'm kind of letting the price action come to me. Now, one of the things that I'm going to be looking for right now when I say this is this area at about 97.5. All right, so 97.5, knowing that liquidity is there. All right, I'm really big on that. I go to the liquidation heat map. I see where leverage shorts are sitting, where stop losses are sitting, and I know that there's liquidity above this zone. So one thing that you might see, and kind of ignore this is just a different scenario here, but what you might see is you'll actually get a wick up into this zone of liquidity with a quick retracement, a closed candle back into the range. That right there is going to be my indication that we're likely going to see price action to come back down. All right, so there could be an opportunity right here at 97.5 to take a short down to about 95.2 or so. Okay, now why do I think this is an important zone at about 95 or 90? Yeah, 95.2 is you can see constantly we're finding it as an area of support. You come back left on the chart. What do you see? It's an area of resistance. So one of the things I always challenge people to do is take these horizontals and start looking for groupings of price action. And when you start finding these groupings of price action, as well as an uptrend coming off of that area or a downtrend, that lets you know that it's a significant area of price action, right? There's people that are looking at this area and kind of making trades based off of that, right? So that's why I would say it would be a good initial target coming off of about 97.5 for a short. Now, that all being said, where is like my primo area that I'm looking for? It's where this B is. All right. And the reason I'm looking for that is you have a lot of confluence in this zone. You have a long-standing trend line, two of them actually, that are now starting to intersect. You also have a long-standing channel. This goes back to 2021, and you have liquidity. So same thing that I'd be looking for in this area of about 97.5 is exactly what I'd be looking for down here at about 92.5. All right, 92.5, 92.7 in that area. Again, something a lot like this, right? You see this right here? This is just taking the liquidity. All right, and this liquidity is building up in this zone, right? Because you can see over and over and over again, we have tested it as support. So that means that people are taking leveraged positions in this area, and they're going to start putting their stop losses in this area. What happens? They keep getting wrecked because price action will come down, clears it out with a wick, right? You'll see that wick with a quick bounce back. And, you know, that is something that I really, really am keeping my eye on. And we've hit on this a couple times already. So the scary part of this now is that liquidity, and this is where I will align with OC, is actually starting to move a little bit lower. So the more that you look at this, the liquidation heat map, you're starting to see liquidity build up right around here at about 87K. All right, so right about 87K, you have liquidity now starting to build up in this area. So that gives me a little bit of a pause. Trend is down, liquidity is now building up. It's beginning to kind of be a hot spot on the map. It's actually the low of this range before we started this whole trend. We've done this before with Bitcoin. Like the last time we were in the range, we were in the range for about 6 months. What did? We came back and retested the low of the range before it ultimately went up and right. So keep your eye on that. That is definitely a key area. So again, I'm a big like wait for it to come to you guy. I don't try to snipe or get into these quick scalps very often. If I'm doing it more for fun. But that area right there, you have the 0.382 on the macro. So if you do a fib retracement off the low to the high, to the all-time high, that's the 0.382. Now, technically speaking, when you look at the 382, that is, you know, signifying a nice area for a bounce when you're in a bullish trend. So, you know, it's very important that you understand that macro bullish still exist, even if you come down to this area. It's crappy right now with sentiment. Alts look like they're getting wrecked and people are all up in arms about sentiment being bad, but Bitcoin looks phenomenal. To see Bitcoin still hanging out at about 96K, if you were to say that it was going to be there a year ago, you would just say, nah, probably not. You know, but here we are, and we're maintaining support because I think some of this institutional buying is really holding it up. Just go read the news, right? Understand that every day a new bank, a new institution is getting into Bitcoin, all right? But it's Bitcoin specifically, all right? You're not seeing as much into the altcoins. So if we come back down here, this is a reason I love this area right here, which is kind of like my, hey, this is the area I'll probably go high capital, low leverage at about 86, is because what's going to happen is people are going to be completing the dumps. They'll get shook out. Their stop losses will get hit. Their leverage positions will get hit. Everyone gets kind of wiped out. Institutions buy back in. Price action recovers and starts working its way back up. So makers happy, exchanges are happy, institutions are happy, retail is not happy. That means it's an area for you to concentrate on and look at. Follow the money, all right? Follow the smart money, and then be the shark, right? So that's why I really like waiting for some of these trades to develop. Again, 382 quarterly pivot. leverage or liquidities all kind of lining up in this area at about 86K, which is where I am actually putting a limit order myself, just so you understand money where my mouth is. But again, that's a couple areas I just wanted to point out to you guys that I think could be good opportunities.
Beautiful. Paid the man. I got my trade file levels now. Always
Nice.
adding them to my chart.
Love it. So I think that we reached the end of the class today. We do have another session, Alex, today, if I'm not wrong, or is it tomorrow? No, today and tomorrow,
Oh,
right?
we have it today.
Yeah.
I
Guys.
gotta go and teach right now in my Discord.
Oh,
So I'll see you
absolutely.
guys later. Have a good day.
See you, Alex. Trifly, thank you so
Appreciate you
much for
guys.
joining, my friend. Whenever you have a chance, you want to jump in, you are more than welcome to jump into the class. Guys, other than that, thank you so much for joining. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Thanks for having me up. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, brother, for jumping in.
Yeah, man.